Hey friends, it's Vic here. Welcome to my channel. What if I told you that your brain is tricking you every single day? You might be thinking that you're making rational decisions, but in reality, your mind is full of hidden biases that just shape your thinking without you even realizing it. And that is why today we are diving into Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman to understand why we make predictable mistakes and how heuristics influences our thinking in order to make better decisions. If you ever wondered why you sometimes jump to conclusions or misjudge some situation, or why you sometimes let your emotions guide your judgment, then this video is for you. By the end, you will understand how your brain works and how to make better and smarter decisions. Here's what we'll cover in this video: the two systems of thinking and how they influence your decision making, the most common biases that trick your mind, real-life examples on how we get fooled and how to avoid that, and most importantly, key takeaways that will help you think more clearly and make better choices. So stick with me till the end. Daniel and Amos in this research decided to ask each other questions in order to see how they're thinking. They didn't focus on the correct answer. Their goal was to identify and analyze the intuitive answer. And after some time, they developed the role in resemblance in predictions. They tested and elaborated that theory in many experiments in which participants used resemblance in their judgment, meaning resemblance heuristic. They confirmed that resemblance caused predictable biases and systematic errors in our thinking. For example, if someone asks you something and you don't have enough data to make statistical decisions, you will rely on some heuristics. For example, if someone asks you if you liked some company and you don't know anything about the company, you rely on some things you like about the company, like maybe you like their logo, or maybe you like their website, or I don't know. So you rely on an intuitive answer. And if somebody asks you, do you trust in that company, for example, you just say yes because you like the company. Or for example, participants in this research were asked to find out whether the letter K was occurring more frequently in words that start with letter K or words that have K in the middle. And we all know that it's easier to think of words that start with letter K rather than finding words with the letter K in the middle. You will start to think automatically about words that start with letter K. So we will choose the first prediction, that there are more words that start with letter K. Here again, the reliance on heuristic produces a predictable bias and judgment. They've concluded the power of resemblance to see how easy it is for the human brain to ignore statistical facts. And the participants, when having seen themselves fail, they started to question their own thinking. And this doesn't mean that we have a flaw in our thinking. It's just the psychology of thinking, and knowing these facts, you will be able to think slow, more statistically, and make better decisions. Although many people argued this theory that the mind is prone to human systematic errors is now generally accepted. The other thing that they are talking about in this book is decision-making under uncertainty. They developed the prospect theory, an analysis of the thinking under risk. One of their important developments now is that they understand the marvels as well as the flaws of intuitive thought. They explain that the accurate predictions of experts are better explained by practice rather than an intuitive thought. Which means that, for example, if you go to see a doctor and they make a precise, accurate diagnosis in just like few seconds, and you're like, wait, what is happening here? Is this magic? And it's not magic. It's just fast thinking that is produced by this slow kind of thinking, meaning that they had years of practice and they now see patterns with which they make predictions. So yeah, it's not magic. 17 times 24. I bet you didn't expect this, but the thing is, you knew immediately that this is a multiplication problem, and you probably knew that you could solve it by pen and paper, if not without. You also had some intuitive knowledge about the result, right? But you are not sure about the precise answer. And you felt that you could choose by engaging in solving this problem or not. If you decided to solve the multiplication problem, you will think about school when you learned this computation, the process, the method that you use to solve that multiplication kind of problem. And you will think of a series of steps to solve it. And you felt the burden of holding that information. You felt a little bit uncomfortable. This process is mental work, deliberate, effortful, and orderly. A prototype for slow thinking. When you engaged in the process, your body was also included, not just your mind. Your muscles stand up, your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate increases, your pupils dilate, and your pupils go back to normal as soon as you finish the work. System 1 and System 2 are defined as two characters. They describe System 1 as a consequence of System 2 because only System 2 can form orderly thoughts, and System 1 has the pattern which we know as intuition. There are also situations where System 2 overrules System 1. The highly diverse operations of System 2 have one thing in common. They require attention, and when attention is drawn away from them, they are disrupted. For example, focus on one person's voice in a crowded space. Look for a woman with gray hair. Maintain a faster walking speed than is natural to you. Tell someone your phone number. Park in a narrow space, etc. System 2 has some ability to change System 1 by programming the automatic functions for memory and attention. For example, if you wait someone in the station, you could search for a woman with particular kind of hair, so the likelihood that you will notice that person faster increases. Thinking slow affects the body, the muscles, the pupils, attention. It includes our energy, because thinking slow in reality takes a lot of work. We are prone to fast thinking, the path of least resistance. Laziness is built deep into nature. Thinking fast says, I need groceries. Thinking slow says, I will not try to remember what to buy, but write myself a shopping list. One of the biggest takeaways from this book is that we are way too confident, and we are more confident than we should be. Hindsight bias is after something happens, we convince ourselves that we knew it all along. But did you really knew? Only you know that answer. The illusion of understanding. This is when we think we knew why things happen, but often we are not aware how much luck plays a role in that thing, that situation, whatever. Ignoring statistics is when we tend to trust our intuition and not data. For example, research shows that algorithms make better decisions than humans, than experts. But we still prefer to trust humans, right? Because they're human beings, not machines. Moral of the story, be humble about what you think you know. In the book, they also talk about the two selves. The first is the experiencing self, and the second is the remembering self. So the experiencing self lives in the moment, and the remembering self tells us the story about our life. And guess what? The remembering self almost always wins. That's why a vacation with one last bad day feels like a bad vacation, even though it's not. Focus on creating better endings in your life. Whether it's relationships, maybe jobs, or any kind of experiences, the way the things end matters more than you think. And final thoughts about how to think better, led by the book. The first thing is that you should recognize that System 1 is leading you. In that moment, slow down and engage in slow thinking. Put effort into it, put focus into it, be aware of it. Use data, not your intuition. I know that this sometimes is a very hard thing to do, but when you feel overconfident, question your assumptions. Rely on data, rely on real situations that happen. Do not be led by your gut feelings. Frame your choices wisely. How something is presented changes how you feel about it. And focus on long-term happiness, not just short-term goals, because it will improve your life. If you make hard decisions, your life will be better than making easier decisions. Easier decisions make your life harder. This work proves that we are not as rational as we think we are. But that's not a bad thing. Once we understand our biases, we can make better decisions. Thanks for watching. I'm so glad that you watched this video till the end. If you find this helpful, please give it a thumbs up so I will know that I'm creating something valuable for you, and that is how I will make more content on psychology or decision making. Just let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.